This program brought to you by Racing Victoria, Off the Track Thoroughbreds, Horseware Australia, Bait Saddles and Willinga Park.
It's a brave format to expose the process of retraining a horse for their second career. A great format to do, because I think what it will do is it will really bring forward the character of the thoroughbred, the different nature of them. It marries the best trainers that we have in Australian racing with Olympians at the top of their game from a show jumping perspective, and that's a really great and exciting matchup.
Last time on Jump Off, we met our teams, trainers, riders and horses.
He's hopefully our star. He's got a head on him only his mother would love.
Vicky found a favourite.
He had over 20 starts and won over $300,000 in prize money.
Attitude is nearly more important than talent.
One Jump Off team took time out to get married.
Tied the knot, locked him down.
And the Queensland team of Pete and Michelle McMahon led us inside Kalora Lodge, where it's not all plain sailing.
Everything's not going as planned. This day, everything just turned to shit.
Right, f*** your dogs off. Get off the arena. Go and tie them up.
Welcome to Jump Off. Now in this episode, our Jump Off trainers and riders' selections and talents are all put to the test as some of our horses experience their first outings in their second careers. Remember, it's 5 teams competing for $100,000 and the sport is show jumping. The final is at Bonio Park Equestrian Centre and some of our riders have jumped at the indoor on their Grand Prix horses. Russell Johnston, Vicky Roycroft, Dave Cameron, Peter McMahon and World Equestrian Game member Jamie Kermond. However, the Jump Off retired thoroughbreds aren't at that stage yet. But Vicky Roycroft and James, well, they've got something up their sleeve.
We were sort of on the lookout for another horse, and then James was able to suggest quite a cute little mare that I think she won a small race or something, but to send for me to try, which was Strike a Rose, and she was cute enough. She's a lovely little mare. She's the right age as far as I'm concerned. She's 5. She, I think, only raced about 10 times. She was a winner, but not quite classy enough to keep going on with. James is on his way. In fact, I think he's heading down the drive as we speak. And yeah, because I'd be interested to know more about the racing history of these horses.
Vicky was in for a pleasant surprise.
Monica Cummings, James's wife, I used to teach when she was a lot younger, and I haven't actually seen her for a long time since then. Well, now she's married with 2 or 3 kids or whatever the hell it is, and yeah, it was really great to catch up with her again.
Oh, it's quite nice, the synergy between Vicky and how she's helped Monica and trained her when she was growing up. She used to ride track work for my grandfather when I was his assistant trainer. So you know, some of Vicky's teachings have actually, in a funny way, filtered down through my grandfather's training.
Was she a bit of a stress head?
She could stress a little bit.
Yeah.
We always worked hard to keep condition on her.
Yeah.
She kicked her career off over 1,000 metres, and she won an 1,150 metre maiden at Newcastle.
James was keen to get a look at his horses.
All right, shall we have a look at some of them over the jumps?
Let's do that. There we go. We've got that right canter.
Strike a Rose was first up.
She needs her to lead with her right front.
This little mare was doing everything right,
That's all right, doesn't she?
which is a good start for a show jumper.
Had a great attitude, she really did. Her nickname was Pepe Le Pew because she would fling herself off the ground and she was very enthusiastic to do this, do that, go everywhere, but she didn't quite know what to do with her legs, which was a bit of a problem. How cute is she? She's still learning her craft, she doesn't know what to do with her legs yet, but she wants to get up in the air, which is nice. She was a bit of a stress head, but now she knows what you want of her. She's such a willing little thing.
Yeah, we actually had higher hopes for her, you know,
Yeah.
on the track.
But she's very sweet. All you got to do is sort of talk to her a little bit, and then she trusts you.
Inner Circle was ready and waiting for his big moment.
Tie him up, get this rug off him. So this is probably the star of the team at the moment.
Okay.
Inner Circle. He's the best advertisement ever for a thoroughbred for our game because he's just an absolute pleasure.
A horse like Inner Circle would be as well credentialed as we can come up with in terms of pedigree and type, but some of them just don't have whatever it is that makes them elite racehorses. So, thoroughbred aftercare is something that Sheikh Mohammed's very passionate about. Great to sort of endorse this program and see where we can get to, and hopefully it builds a bit of demand for horses off the track, because it's a very important issue for our industry.
James Cummings makes a very handy strapper.
Where do you want to jump on?
Right here where the mounting block is. Les, you're good at a leg up, are you? Oh, good man. I trust you.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Good job. Yeah, you've done that before. He's really trainable, he's got a lot of talent. He's up to doing flying changes and stuff. Like, he's been very easy to train and educate.
James isn't getting ahead of himself.
It's all right. Got some improving to do. Oh, I'd have to give you a solid 7.5. Has he got room to improve, do you think?
The only thing, the technique, even for the little he's done, is excellent. What I can feel, I can't quite see it, but his front end is fabulous, yeah? And I think his back end is good enough. He's got all the scope in the world. It's just, sometimes he's not a thinker. So you can see, but when he does hit one, the next time I'm not going to do that again, but then 10 fences later he might forget. And
yes.
What's nice about them is, as I say, I think they were so well raised and well trained in the first place. It's made my job a whole lot easier.
From the cradle to the grave, I think that the value placed on the horse is the most important thing. And the horses have been great to my family, for instance, but also His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, who finds that his horses are really a part of his own spirit and they're a part of his culture.
Up next, we head to Queensland to visit the McMahons. It's a family affair as they take their jump-off horses to their first outing.
The girls love it. Keep saying every week, "Mum, why can't we be homeschooled?"
At Calora Lodge in Queensland, Beijing Olympian Peter McMahon is taking his 3 jump-off horses to their very first jump club. And his kids are all part of the team.
Emily and Elkie, they're 10 now, so they can get their own ponies ready. Malia's 14. It makes it a lot easier for Pete and I, because sometimes we're taking 12 horses to the shows. The girls love it. They keep saying every week, "Mum, why can't we be homeschooled?" They'd rather be here getting homeschooled and not at school, but they have to go to school.
Team McMahon Weir are hoping today goes to plan for their jump-off horses.
Aquas have a jump club this weekend. We're going to take the opportunity to get these young horses out. Elysian Fields is just in Ekanungra. It's a beautiful setting. We love going there. It's great. The surface is amazing, so hopefully the boys will be in good form. Kelly King runs a really great little jump club. It's on maybe 4 or 5 times a year, and it's a really good opportunity to get the babies out.
Remember, the McMahon horses are the recovering from an abscess, El Divine, Great Horse, Johnny English or Agent, and Hurdler, Gotta Take Care.
Agent has never jumped before, so they will be shocked when they get there, but I'm sure they'll be fine. We've done a lot of training and hopefully they get what they're supposed to do.
Pete and Michelle have a wardrobe issue.
Nice ripping your jotties, look real professional.
You know what? They shouldn't be in my drawer if they got holes in them. She does the washing, she does the ironing, and she puts these friggin' jotties in my drawer. If you were such a good wife, you'd fix them.
I can't sew. Like, Pete and I are always giving each other stick. And of all the days today, he puts his holy jotties on. Like, are you serious?
Johnny English, or Agent, was first in the 60-centimetre ring.
11, the moraine right up the top.
Yeah, he's looking super. Like, considering these are all new ones out here today, there's a lot being naughtier than him. He's throwing a really nice shape. But no, he's cool.
He jumped around nice and clean. He jumped really, really good, and I was really happy with him. Michelle was happy with him because she's my eyes on the ground. When I get a good feel of the horse, something might not be as good when she's watching it, so she'll just instruct me sort of off the ground and say, you know, you got to do this and you got to do that.
Yeah, super.
Super. Yeah, really good.
You can't ask for better than that for his first outing. He's such a good boy.
El Divino Jr., he's up next, but just remember, he's recovering from an abscess.
Really happy with him today. I thought he'd be a lot more excited and, you know, after the fence and want to kick up, but today he was a lot better. He was quite relaxed out there, which I thought he was, which was good. His jump was nice and soft, good technique, and yeah, really happy with him, really happy. Much better today.
Heaps better.
They'd thrown another thoroughbred of their own on for a little life experience.
Just recently, we got a 3-year-old off the track, and we again thought, well, we'll use this opportunity to bring him. He's probably a little bit more wound up because he has come directly off the track.
What's that saddle?
No, it's my saddle.
I hate your saddle. She always says that it's her horse, but I seem to ride the bloody thing all the time, so it's, yeah, we do banter a little bit about him. I say, oh, go and grab my horse, and she's like, no, it's not, it's my friggin' horse, so anyway.
Pete's horse is very horse shy at this stage. He hasn't seen horses cut across him. He's not used to it. He's normally galloping with them on the track.
He was so bloody horse shy that day. Like, I tried to go out into the ring and he wouldn't go into the ring. He wouldn't go into the warm-up area. But as soon as I got him in there, he was fine in there. Then next minute, Dean's horse starts to play up.
Hold on, Dean. Hold on, Dean. Sit up. Hold on. Dean Morris's horse, which is now going to town and rearing up, like nearly vertical. So my eyes are off Pete because I know this horse is like, I'm worried for Dean. Uh-oh. Whoa, 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 whoa!
This friggin' grey horse comes from nowhere, flying across the field. And I was like, oh, this is handy. So I just sort of sat on mine just thinking, this isn't going to be good.
This horse out of nowhere is galloping full gas. It's going to kill itself with a hay net tied to its lead rope. Quick, quick, quick. It was going to just hit a fence with no one home. So it was like, oh my God, sorry, Dean, you have to look after yourself. And we thought we'd go and try and catch this horse. That was blind bolting. It was wild. So everything was going on at once. Very scary. Ended up going down to the bottom polo fields and then slowed down enough that we could all go in and catch him and get the hay bag that was frightening him off the lead rope. And by that time, the owner came to find him and we handed it back. But it was wild. And now just turn him around.
With the chaos contained, hurdler Got to Take Care, or Woody, was posing for photos for his owner.
For these people to give up their horses to do the show, I think is a big sacrifice. It would be hard for me to do it. And I said, Pete, just stop, let me get some few photos. You know, they want to know how their horses are going, but just then get a photo, I thought it was really sweet. Stay right there. Perfect.
Got to Take Care was also in the 60 centimetre class.
Like, to come out today and just canter around and just do it on his ear, so, you know, he was fantastic. He'll be star of the day. Handled everything well. Went into the ring and, yeah, just picked up the canter and away he went. So, no, he was super. Really happy with him. That ultrasound on his chest and on his sacroiliac up here, it's probably really helped him too.
That's super.
He's like, bring it on. He owns this shit.
He gets star of the day.
He's super.
It's so nice that these horses get the opportunity, the respect that he had as a racehorse, you know, and then someone is prepared to take him on and rehome him and give him a second chance, and now he can come back and do this.
Yeah.
It's been well preserved.
Sweet
he's
horse.
a darling. Yeah, he deserves it.
All the horses did well in their first outing and handled the Queensland heat.
Get the new ice boots on him now and let him relax and recoup after that.
The Horseware Ice-Fired boots are amazing. We have them full-time in the truck. They're actually easy to use. We just put the ice boot on and then you just put the little button on. As well as chilling everything down and taking the heat out, it also stimulates the blood flow with the vibration. We use them all the time. They're very, very good, even for travelling long distances and you know that one's a little bit crotchety. Bring out the boots and put them on because they feel nice. I put them on my arm.
Well, the McMahons escaped their first outing unscathed. Up next, Russell Johnston finds another horse.
Oh, that front end's getting better.
Gets a checkup from his dietitian.
For the Johnston Hayes team, things are finally starting to look up.
And is on Neighbourhood Watch.
There's sheep down there, look. You've got to help your neighbours, so we're off.
So far, Russell Johnston and David Hayes have Extra Zero and Poitier on their team, but things are about to change.
The word got out that we needed a horse for this television series, and it had to be a David Hayes horse, and as luck would have it, a guy who does a bit of part-time truck driving for David, Johnny Ivel, gave me a call and said, hey, listen, I think I might have a horse for you. And he said, I think he's got some ability. He said, give him a try.
The horse's name was Bolivar, and he won a grand total of $950.
Oh, that sparked him up. Now he's off. Very good, and whoa. From a competition point of view though, I'd like to see him give it a bit more air. Now I want to see a bit more room for error. Let's stand that one up.
Russ had a special guest in his arena. The Barristock dietitian had popped in for a look.
Oh, that front end's getting better. Yep. Oh. So that one, he messed up from the start. And I don't mind a horse making a mistake, yeah, but I want to see now that he figures out
and adjusts.
Adjustment, exactly.
Looks like Bolivar or Benny may just have something.
Good man. He pings off the ground well, he's genuinely careful. When we rode him, his steering left a little bit to be desired, you know, the whole turning. They don't have to do that so much on the racetrack. Yep.
Russell was convinced Bolivar was worth taking to Bonio straight away.
So for the Johnston Hayes team, things are finally starting to look up. Yeah, I've got a third horse now, and he's showing some very good prospects. He's genuinely careful. He's still a bit slow with his front end. Steering needs a bit of maintenance, but we had one. That was great.
Team Johnston Hayes want their horses in the very best condition, as do all the jump-off teams.
Both horses are pretty much in paddock condition. So they've just come into work. All I've done is put a pair of shoes on their front feet.
So the first thing we do when we look at our horses, of Benny and Sid, is we want to know what they weigh. Generally when he's in a full show condition that we're going to jump, he might be that 575 to 600 range.
Oh wow, that heavy.
Yep, so at the moment he's 550. Okay. So that probably would have been around his racing weight. We're going to introduce the boys to the new feed. Obviously we're going to do it slowly. We'll start him on around 2.5 kilos and then we'll gradually increase that as Russell rides him a bit more. It's about 750 grams per day. So this is our complete performer. As you can see, high fibre.
Yep.
And if you can feel it, you know, there's lightly molasses.
Yep.
The grains in here are cooked, so it's really easily digestible. As you can see, it's a small amount of pellets in there. That's the NutriBit pellet. So that's where all our vitamins and minerals are contained in there. If we give them those essential amino acids, so the good building blocks, they'll start depositing muscle and top line, and then
combine that with a bit of extra work. And
yep, and they'll jump higher.
After welcoming his new jump-off addition, Bolivar or Benny, today Russ has an unscheduled muster.
The neighbours' cattle are out. And we're thinking, what on earth is this? It sounds like we've got a mob of cattle or sheep or something racing down the Thomas Road. Is that the only one? There's no others down there? There's sheep down there, look. Yeah, and as it turns out, neighbour's fence has gone down, got cattle out on the road, and you've got to help your neighbours. So we're off. Oh really? They're gone down the creek. Jump on the bike and go around them. Giselle's on the push bike.
Flat tyre on the back.
Push bike's got a flat tyre. Someone else is racing down the road to try and block them before they end up on the main road. Where'd those sheep go? Here they come. Ah! Well, you know what? They're safe in there, so they haven't got the fence electrified. New farmers, we got it done. Everything back under control, livestock under control. Okay, let's go back to our horse work.
Good job, Russ. Up next, Team Cameron Price. They're taking their horses for their first outing to Yandu Park.
They've all got here and they're not pouring, they're not stressed, they seem pretty relaxed, so that's a good start.
Today, the Camerons are heading to their best friends and competitors' property to get used to the surrounds.
Look at his little face. Here's Tick.
He's starting to look really good, isn't he?
So Dave, we'll see if at the other end we get off the nice quiet horses we've had here. If we
Yeah,
get
I know, it'll be interesting.
4 horses that think that they've just arrived at the racetrack.
It's always interesting, that first trip, you know, you think they're all going really good, and then you get that first outing and then they're not going so good.
They get off 5 breathing dragons.
So we'll see.
The Camerons are on their way.
Well, we're going to take all our horses around to Yandu for their first ever outing. We like to take our young horses and particularly ones off the track to a nice sort of friendly-ish sort of outing to start with. You know, I don't want to go straight to a jump club or a show. So we'll go to that, so it's a bit more of a controlled environment. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go.
Yeah, we get to see Jim Kerm's horses go today. Kerm will be all competitive and Jim's always competitive, so.
Well, it's always interesting when you first get to the new location for them, their first outing, how they're going to react, so it will be interesting.
Sparrow's looking pretty flash in his new headwear. I'm going to take him. Come on, buddy.
They've all got here and they've all walked off the truck and they've gone across tyres and they're not pouring, they're not stressed, they seem pretty relaxed, so that's a good start.
Kermo had heard all about the legendary horse with the love heart on his forehead.
Which one?
The one that was the fastest racehorse.
That one just there.
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Lincoln or who?
Yeah.
Suits you, Dave.
That's what nearly $5 million looks like.
We love to come here because it's an outing, but it's so close. Like, we're literally 10 minutes just over there. So it's pretty cool to be able to come and train. They've got a massive arena. Yeah, it's awesome.
This is our life, waiting for men. Look at them, my little girls.
Oh, that's
what's
cute.
your horse's name? My horse's name is Sunny.
Even though they're competing head-to-head in jump-off, these two husband and wife teams work very well together.
You know, it's a bit of fun, and when
Enemies of the moment.
we all learn off each other as well, like that too. You know, like you come over and you go, oh, well, that's Kerm's training that exercise today, or Jamie's doing this, and it sort of, you know, it makes you push yourself a bit too. So yeah, it works like that as well.
Right Man, or as they call him, Sonny, was first horse out.
Good to see you keeping your heels down, Dave. Geez, you nearly had that one down too, Dave. Oh, the double though. Oh, the double! He said, hold on.
Sonny was excellent. He handled the arena really well. He had a little spook at a green jump he'd never seen before, which is expected.
Little spook, Dave nearly fell off.
Yeah, I was really happy with him. His first time jumping jumps off our property, he was quite good. He was quite brave. He remember what jumping's all about, and yeah, no, he was really good.
Next horse for the Camerons was Neutronic or Sparrow.
We're very happy with Sparrow. He came today and he sort of coped with all the different jumps quite well, and yeah, it was quite good. A little worked up, but not too much. And yeah, no, he's a very brave horse, so you sort of know what you're going to point him at and you're going to end up on the other side. At this stage, I think he's definitely my sort of number one at this stage of the competition.
Proving to be the most trainable.
Yeah, the most trainable, The only thing I'd say about him that I'm a little worried about is he does have a look at things around the edge of the arena, and knowing that the competition is going to be indoors, there's going to be lots to look at, you know.
Yeah, and a crowd as well.
Need to make sure that he stays quite focused on the jump, but he'll get better with more experience and more outings. So now this is the first outing. Now they just need to keep going out in the lead up. The hard work continues. All right, so we've got Lankin next.
The $4 million horse had to prove himself.
When he got to home, of course, he had a week under his belt, and then he got a foot abscess, so he had a big break then. So yeah, he really has started off a little bit behind the 8 ball. Saying that though, he has come to the party really quickly in terms of his brain. You know, the first few times I rode him home, he got really worked up and he was really stressed. And now he's just sort of understood, okay, I'm not going to racetrack, I'm not going to get pumped up. And he's been a bit like this. Now the biggest problem with him is that he doesn't like sort of going over things. He's a little unsure about it. It's a bit of a confidence thing.
How's he feel out here today, Dave?
Yeah, good. He's actually pretty relaxed here.
Not too worried about the Kermond pain sign?
No, he's having a little look. Not too bad.
Dave's going to get a little head start here over the trot poles in walk. These poles, the way that I've set them up there, are designed for trotting, but he's chosen to do them in walk. That's fine. To give a little bit of an introduction. That wasn't quite the idea, Lankin?
I think basically Lankin doesn't have a lot. He's not very brave, you know. You want to get on a horse and it's going to take you somewhere, where sometimes I feel like I've got to take Lankin somewhere.
Vicky called him a pussy. I thought that was a bit rough.
And that's basically the problem. Like, you know, when I first went to ride him in the arena, he didn't want to step into the actual sand. You know, he doesn't have a lot of confidence in himself.
Sort of was looking at us all the way there too, and then he spotted the fence and was like, oh, no. Oh, made it happen. Lankin knows what he's good at. He's run very fast, but you know,
but
and won a lot of money. So
you know, a bit more work, and we'll see what happens. And he could even come back after another spell, a lot more confidence and self-assured in himself. You know, so you know, maybe this preparation, he may not be a jumper, but who knows? And down the track, I think he quite could be. And he has improved a lot as a horse. So.
Absolutely.
Well, it's all up to the Camerons whether Lankin Rupee will make their jump-off team. Up next, we go to Boneo Park, where Russell Johnston gets to mix it with the kids on Extra Zero, a horse with 109 career starts.
Great canter, just a lovely balanced horse. This is Extra Zero.
Copper rice feeds are unique in that they contain rice bran. So rice bran is from the milling of brown to white rice, the product that comes off between that. And rice bran is important because it contains natural antioxidants, which is important for the immune system, boosting the immune system. Copper rice feeds containing rice bran benefit the show jumpers because it doesn't heat them up. We can provide a high energy source of feed without getting that heating and that hot behaviour that we see with cereal grain based feeds. Our feeds are used for all ranges of horses, down from your small pony right up through to your competing horses, eventers, hunters, show jumpers, dressage horses.
Today, Russell Johnston is at Boneo Equestrian Centre getting ready for a first outing with two of his jump-off horses.
I built this. I bought it as a flat deck back in about 1988, and I reckon I got it on the road end of '89. Once we got the horses in here, I've never finished it off. One day I'll finish it. I had all these elaborate plans, you know, pull-out barbecues, everything, but once we started using it, that was the end of all of that. Do you want me to go and empty that barrow? Yeah? I'm standing around. That'd be good. Doesn't normally work this way.
Today, Russ gets a reprise from picking up poo. Scott McNaught and his family run the beautiful Boneo Park equestrian facility on the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria.
This weekend's a monthly show jumping competition. We start with kids, and in this ring here it starts at 40 centimetres. and we'll go up to 1.40 m for the senior riders in ring 1. Gavin Chest is our course designer today, so he's laid out the course, and the distance between each jump needs to match the stride of the horses, so it's important to have these measurements correct.
1, 2, 3. It's just like the really novice stuff, yeah? So we'll be out here with the kids today, so don't normally get to jump this height, so be a bit of fun for the kids, they'll enjoy it. Ground's looking great.
Good, excellent.
Always good surface down here.
Yeah, it's very important. We understand the importance
Absolutely.
of good surface.
Yeah. This is their first days out, and like Extra Zero, he's not that long off the track, so we'll get around this fast, I reckon.
Good, excellent. Should be entertaining.
I hope not. I hope not.
Here comes one of the most handsome gentlemen. It's good to see our judge.
We can't have the show without the judge.
Good morning.
John Pearce is a well-respected judge and a show jumping coach.
Another day in the office.
He also has kids who show jump.
It's all a learning experience. And they start here and they progress right up to Grand Prix heights, so it'll be good.
Not a typical day for Judge John Pearce. He's judging an Olympian and his daughter in the same event. You don't see too many sports where that happens.
It'll be a good experience for both Russell and the horse. And Russell is probably the most experienced guy around, so they've got a good jockey. So we're ready for a big day. You go get your pony ready. She gets ready by herself now, so she's a big girl. And then I'll see you out here later.
The racing legend Extra Zero, he's ready to go.
Russell Johnston must be delighted to have Extra Zero in his team. A rarity in thoroughbred horse racing, he competed in 109 races over 9 seasons, amassing more than $1.75 million in prize money.
Extra Zero, 100% sound, tough old war horse. Won at Flemington on his 100th start, which is not many have ever done that in Australia. Did a bit of jumping, and I think he's adjusting very well, and I know the old horse will just keep getting better.
His eyes will open up when he sees all these other horses out there this morning. It's pretty quiet though. Sometimes it's when the loudspeakers start playing music and everything, and they think they're heading off to the races again. He's a pretty good temperament, but to get used to the difference in the routine, about 6 months at least.
First you'll have Grace, Sophie, Holly, Russell.
This is a very small class, but for some of the kids, it's big enough. They get to compete against Olympians and experienced riders who will put their young and inexperienced horses in the same classes. Remember, first up, it's not about the height, it's about tempo. Russell presents to Judge John.
Morning, John. This is Extra Zero. Thank you.
And he's got to beat some fast times. Those ponies go fast.
Our first show at Borneo with Extra Zero, I mean, this horse was quite extraordinary, you know. He could have turned out a real handful, but he really handled it well. I mean, there was a couple of little spots there where he wasn't too sure about where he was going, a tiny bit nappy, but he went out and cantered around like a champ that he is. I mean, at this stage, these fences were tiny, you know, but really at this stage, it's about how they handle the atmosphere and the whole competition scenario in with the other horses. Wasn't a lot of noise down there. There wasn't like all the loudspeakers and things going, but he handled it really well. A bit wobbly with some of his jumps, didn't quite get straight, all that sort of stuff. You expect that, but he just did the job. He didn't blast over his fences. That would have really made my day if he did that. Great canter, just a lovely balanced horse.
He's good, eyes are on, clear going into the last. Clears the last, 63.36 with a clear round.
Hey, you champ. First round clear. Next round, Olympics. No, not quite. After that first round, I mean, he jumped clean, for goodness sake. That's what we want. And I was feeling pretty confident about this guy. I thought I got a really nice horse on my hands. To the next class, by the time we got to that, he was really settling down nicely.
Russell, you're next.
Thank you.
No worries.
Good boy.
The next class, 65 centimetres.
All right, John, thank you.
Yep, no worries, thanks, mate.
65 centimetre down at Bonio was officially extra zeros, 111 start.
Eyes are on. We'll start now. One.
And didn't he take to it like a fish to water? I mean, he really settled in nicely. The worst part about this comp is getting beaten by all the kids, but we knew that was going to happen. And there's no way we're going fast with these horses. He really settled into a nice rhythm there. He started to use himself a bit over the fences, and I thought, I've really got a nice horse here.
A's good, B's good. 6. 7. 5's are on, approaching the last is clear. And clears the last. 61.05, clear round.
Good boy.
Judge John Pearce's daughter, Sophie, she'd got herself a second, but Extra performed very well in his first outing.
Bonio was a really good experience for these horses. We go out the back there and just standing around with all the other horses, great environment for them to realise that there's not the races anymore and that they can just chill out a bit more, and it's nothing to get too hyped up about. I mean, we've got to jump around at the final metre 10. How we goes with the bigger fences is yet to be seen.
So Extra made a really strong showing at Bonio. Russell's other horse, Bolivar, his chance is coming.
First start, got a ribbon, wacko.
Well done.
Good on you, thanks mate.
The good part about thoroughbreds for me is their willingness. There's so many uses for thoroughbreds. They're, you've only got to look at them in polo and polo cross. For us in eventing, they're perfect. But then show jumping, you've only got to look at results. The jump off series was exciting to go to, was exciting to watch. Racing Victoria do a lot with off the track program, which means that a lot of trainers basically get in contact with them. If you're after your next thoroughbred, make sure you get in touch with the off the track program via their website.
The health and welfare of a trainer's horses is absolutely paramount, and they know that that's not only important for the horse during its career, but also important when they're looking at transitioning those horses into their second career. Whether it's show jumping, pony club, polo, being a police horse, a clerk at the course, our thoroughbred racehorses really are so versatile, and this show really just highlights one aspect of how great they can be in their second career.
Russell Johnston and David Hayes' $1.7 million winner, Extra Zero, performed really well. Let's see how Bolivar, who won only $950, handles the pressure.
These competitions are a real leveler, yeah. Like I've jumped at some of the flashiest arenas around the world, and here we are down there doing battle with 9-year-olds. Hello, we've got young Wells here, we've got the big guns. It's a reality check, I tell you. But that's the beauty of this sport too, you know? So who do I follow?
Follow Holly.
Holly.
Yes.
Good.
Who is on the grey.
I know Holly. Benny, first round, out in warm-up, fantastic. You know, like really cool. Not worried about the other horses coming around him and coming at him. He really did a really good job. He jumped up in the air, gave a bit of air over the fences. It was really ticking boxes. Ooh. Hey, John. This is Bolivar.
Russell, Bolivar.
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 Oh, better not fall off at the first fence. Benny's first round, really good. I mean, he did everything right. Yes, his steering was a little bit wayward. That corner, definitely a little bit of a hiccup, but he's jumping, and I like that. I like it a lot. And look, for me, with the whole steering, he'll get there. There's no need to get too concerned about it. You can't be too aggressive with any of that. That just doesn't work training horses. We do have to start to just put a little bit more pressure on him, and he'll get better with all that.
Don't knock the last fence.
64.02. That puts him in 6th spot.
Benny had jumped clear and was in the money.
And here comes 6th. Oh, you champ, Ben. Hey, first start, got a ribbon. Wacko. 65 centimetre Grand Prix. I got flogged by all the kids.
Well done.
Good on you, thanks, mate.
This first outing, Extra's done a great job, but he's not really coming off the ground over the jumps, so at this stage, I'm leaning towards Benny.
Well, how good were some of those horses? Good old Extra Zero. 109 starts, make that 111 now. But a horse that won only $950 has the same opportunity. It's great to see all these riders and trainers giving these horses a second chance.
Great environment for them to realise that there's not the races anymore and that they can just chill out a bit more, and it's nothing to get too hyped up about.
So it's not long now till they all head to Queensland for a real show jumping experience at the Aquas Championships.
This horse called Agent, isn't it? This is the one they paid $500,000.
What is it? Team Kermond Payne? Feeling it.
It's hard to soar like an eagle when you're surrounded by turkeys.
You need to be like me, Jim, and just walk away. So Russ, let's see him move. Can we see him move outside?
Sure.
I think we need to work out why he's like that.
Okay. Some will handle it better than others.
Pete, you only have to remember one thing, your clothing.
The first day competition, we've had a young horse reared up and sort of it lost balance, which is, it didn't mean to, but it lost balance and fell back into the stables. And I fell from quite a height straight onto the road, and I think it half knocked me out, and then the horse ended up falling straight on top of me. It wasn't great.
The pressure will be on. We'll see you next time on Jump Off.